everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve and this camera filming me right now is the DJI Neo. So I've got the Neo in spotlight mode. That means it's just going to hover in the air and no matter where I move, it's just going to track me so I can move around this little docking area made out of rocks and it should follow me around. Now let me tell you a few specs on the Neo. First off, it's a way under 250 grams, super light with the battery. Speaking of the battery, you can expect 18 minutes of flight time if you live in Disneyland, but if you live in a reality world, expect something like 15 to 16 minutes of flight time. When you have it flying by itself and it's just sitting here, the range is basically as far as you put it. So I have no control or nothing, it's just doing its own thing autonomously. It's all super sophisticated AI. It will track me, my face, no matter where I move. If I move down, it follows me. If I go up, it's very, very good. I find the AI on here is so good that even if it loses you, it finds you again. So that's a plus for this beast. Now the camera right now is recording in 4K 30 frames per second. You cannot adjust the color controls or anything like that right now. It only has a 1-axis gimbal. It doesn't have a 3-axis gimbal. So that means if it was super windy out right now beyond level 4 winds, it would bounce around and my image might start looking like this. It wouldn't look that good. But for now, the winds are acceptable. It's only about a level 2 wind right now and it's flying quite well. I should also mention on the camera, I have filmed quite a bit with this and I will say you get what you get. So you better film on nice days and you better know a little bit about filming. So right now, the sun is over here, so I should be lit up nicely. But if I walk over here into the sun, you see how this can handle shadows and the glare of the sun very well. And you can't fix that in post-editing because the megabits for the file recorded is only 50 megabits and it's very compressed. And it does record at H.265, which is very compressed. And I find H.265 with the compression means that the files are smaller, but you have a little less ability. If the quality is not good to start with, you know, the bit rate, if it's not good to start with, it's hard to expand it. But you know what? People buying this are usually newbies or beginners. And most people that buy DJI drones, especially the ones under $1,000, they just buy them to point and shoot and have fun. So what do you think of the camera quality? I think, you know, for the price, it's pretty decent. I wouldn't expect anything better, but I think for the price, you're not losing out, especially at 4K 30 frames a second. And of course, the sensor in here is a 1/2-inch sensor, and it does have, as I've mentioned, electronic image stabilization, so the drone has to sit pretty still for it to work. If it's bouncing around, it's gonna crop in the image a little bit more, the sensor, to keep it steady, and because of that, you'll lose some dynamic range and some image quality. You basically have a barometer inside, you've got GPS, on the bottom you've got optical flow, and of course you got some height finders, and they all seem to work exceptionally well. There is no obstacle avoidance on here. However, I do find, I'll show you that in a demo, I do find if I put it in follow mode and say I'm walking and I do like a zigzag around objects, it becomes smart enough to do the same zigzag. It like traces me and does the same zigzag. Even though it has no obstacle avoidance, it can go around the objects. I'll show you that in a demo. And the last thing to mention, oh, the wind's picking up now. If you look through my hat cam, it's starting to go on an angle, but I'm sure the quality of the image looking at me looks pretty good. The last thing to mention is that there is no micro SD card in this drone. There's internal storage, and I think it's 22 gigs. So that's quite a bit. So you can record for quite a long time. You can download the files directly to your phone, your cell phone, or you can plug a USB cable in the back and download them directly to your computer. All right, let me show you more about this. So let me land it. All I have to do to land it is put my hand underneath. So let me do that. There we go, we're done. All right, time out. This is Indoor Steve, and I want to tell you a few things about this video on the Neo. First off, in this video, you're going to see me fly the Neo just by itself. Nothing else, no cell phone, no remote. Then I'll fly it with my cell phone, and then I will fly it with the remote. Now, the video where I fly the Neo with the goggles 3, the remote 3, the motion controller 3 is an upcoming video in the future. So for this one, none of this is in this video because it would be much too long long. Now, one thing I want to mention at the start of this video is that buying the Neo by itself with one battery is not a bad purchase because you can do an awful lot with just the Neo. You don't need everything else. Obviously, you're going to own a cell phone, and with this cell phone and this Neo, yeah, it's pretty impressive. So if you're not familiar with the Neo, there are only 2 buttons on the Neo to do everything. So you have a power button in the rear, and then you have your mode button. So the power button is to power it on. You double tap and well, there you go. She's powered on. And the mode button is just a method of selecting your quick shots. Yeah, they're pretty much quick shots. So let me show you. If I click it.
Droney, circle, rocket, spotlight, direction track, follow.
Those are all your quick shots. Now, each of those quick shots you can modify in your phone settings in the DJI Fly app. What that means is, say I want to do a circle and go around me, I can set it that it only does a circle at 2 meters, or I can set it something farther like 10 or 20 meters away from me. But you have to do that in the app before you go fly this by itself. And to fly the Neo by itself, as you saw at the start of this video when it was filming me, all I did was held it like this, press the mode I wanted, hold the mode button down, it will go 3, 2, 1, and it will take off and film you. If this camera is not facing you, say I had it facing the other way, and I made it take off, it doesn't know I exist. It will just sit in the air and it can't find me because it has to identify you at first before you take off. That's it. Okay, I'll show you a quick demo of the follow. The sun has gone out, so you're going to see what the video quality is like. Now I'm going to use my phone because it makes it easier because I can't use this finger and start it at the same time because I'm going to block the camera with everything. Anyways, long story short, I'm just going to press the start button on here on follow. I've put the settings so that it follows at about a medium distance, low, so you can have it follow high, flat, or low. I could put it at low, and that's pretty much it. Here we go. Hit start.
3,
2, 1.
1.
There we go. So it should stay really low like this and follow me. Of course, it says I'm in a no-fly zone. Hang on a sec. I have to click this and confirm. Yes. All right. There we go. So still got me down there. I just want to show you the follow going around objects. So let me go this way. I'll go around the park bench. I've got this low, so it's at the park bench height. And watch this. Going around the park bench. It's smart enough to follow me the same way I walked. It does not cut in to make a really short path. It follows exactly where you walk. So that's how it gets around not having optical avoidance and not crashing into things as much, as long as you don't go fast. If I was riding a bike really fast and went around objects, it would probably try to catch up and cut in and then smash into something. But for now, it's pretty decent. Check this out. I'll go around the tree as well. So this is a tree. The drone is there. I'm gonna walk this way and then I'm gonna turn. So you see it could cut in, but it's not cutting in. It could cut in at any moment, but it's not. It's following exactly where I walked. So I tell you, for the money, this thing here is pretty amazing in the follow mode. I think the AI in this is probably the most sophisticated of all the drones in this price range. It's really good. And what I really like is they have the low follow. I love low follow because look at how low the camera is shooting up at me. And I can run around it and it will follow me as best it can. One of us is going to get dizzy or sick in a second, but yeah, that's pretty decent. All right, so now to stop it, you can either stop it on your phone. See over here, I have a little big red stop button and I can see the video of what's happening up here. Or I could just put my hand under it like this. There we go, and we stop. Now, of course, you do have other functions like circle, and I'll show you some video right now of circle mode. You can have circle close or circle really far away. If it's close, then you should be talking because it's capturing just your face going around your head. But if you put it far away, well, then it captures you and whatever you're standing on and the surroundings, and it looks really, really good. Other options on here, you have Droney, you have rocket, spotlight. You also have helix, boomerang. So all in all, you have pretty much all the quick shots that you would normally get in a DJI drone, but with built-in AI so that this thing doesn't need your cell phone. You just program it in advance, go out to some place and film away. It's really good for that. So now that it's gotten pretty quiet here, I can show you how noisy this little guy is. So watch this. I'm going to put it on spotlight and I'll just take off here.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so it's pretty low. I'm going to back up so it captures me. Now, hopefully you can get it in all these cameras. So here's my mic here. I'm going to bring the mic closer. Listen to how noisy this is. Yeah, so definitely people around this area, are going to notice the sound from this baby.
Landing.
So there is an option inside the app that you can talk into your phone or another recording device, not like I have here because this is a straight professional recording device, but you can use some DJI recording devices or talk into your phone. It will remove the sound of the props, that whiny pitch sound, and it will also remove the sound of everything around you, like if you have wind or waves, it's all gone, and only give you your voice. So let me try that here. All right, so let me get back here. We'll start her up.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so now if you listen through my microphone, you can hear the sound. Pretty loud, pretty annoying, but watch this. I'll bring this close to my mouth and I have the microphone turned on here. So now you should hear the sound through my cell phone, and the sound of the props has been removed. So if I walk around, let me just show you here. If I walk around, you're just hearing the sound coming through my cell phone with no sound of props, nothing else. The only problem with it is that I find it makes it a little muggy, a little dark. All the highs are removed. And sometimes it sounds like I'm speaking underwater, like garbly, like glug, 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 because of the way it's removing stuff. So I think it's only for people that say you were in an environment where you were trying to vlog and maybe it was really noisy, city area or some place where it's just so much wind noise, everything else, that it's ruining your video. So yeah, with that in mind, it is an option. Now, of course, if you only bought the drone itself and you do want to fly it manually, well, you know, the phone app is really good because you see as I move, the video is on the phone app and I could cause it to fly manually. In other words, I use the controls on the phone to make it go up, down, left, right, move the camera up, down, everything else. It's actually not too bad if you want to film something nearby you, because the range from here to here is extremely short, so you can't fly very far out. So for example, say you were flying in your house and you wanted to fly around a house, you're a real estate agent, you could do that. Now, I've tried that already and I'll show you some video from it. I have crashed into my walls a few times. Thankfully, there are these little protectors for the props. They cause your wall not to get too damaged, but overall, it's doable, so check this out. Time for an indoor flight using only my phone. So if you're a real estate agent and you buy this little guy and you want to fly it around to do some indoor video, you can do it just by using your phone. Obviously, if you have the remote, it's going to be much easier to fly indoors. But if you don't have the remote, you can just use your phone. So for this demo, I'm going to record my phone screen. I have to use my two thumbs to use the joysticks on the phone and fly this baby around. It is doable indoors. It takes a little bit of practice and you better not have sticky thumbs or else it won't work very well. So we simply power on the drone. You can see in this camera down here, we have all our green lights. She's powered on. Then you start up the DJI Fly app. And if you've connected to the Neo in the past, it finds it right away. So it shows it in my lower left. It says connect. So I have to click on connect and then it's going to say, do you want to join? Have this guy join your network? Yes. Now, if you hear any weird sounds, it's because it's pouring rain outdoors right now. So that's why I'm indoors doing this indoor flight. So on my phone, you can see what the Neo sees. As I move it up and down here, you can see it. So at the top of the screen where it says your modes, like circle mode, follow mode, droney mode, you pick the top one, manual control, and there you go. You can see everything you need to fly this baby. So I'm gonna control the video. I'm gonna hit record. So the camera's recording right now. If I put my hand out front, this is the 4K 30 resolution video. Next, I'm gonna tell it to take off automatically, and I just have to watch out that there's nothing up above. So here we go. I'm gonna hit takeoff. Just hold my finger on the takeoff button. Starts up. It's gonna go up.
Takeoff.
The optical flow is looking at the ground and holds it stable in position. And now it's simply a matter of using my two thumbs for the joysticks and flying it down the hallway. Here we go. Going forward. Even says on the screen forward, left, and everything else. So anyway, so I'll just go forward slightly, take it nice and slow, move it to the left a little bit. We don't want to hit the walls. So basically I'm doing this with my thumbs as I'm flying here. The more I push the left joystick forward, the faster it goes. But when you're doing an indoor video, especially if it's real estate, you want it to be very smooth. So come around, go into the next room. Now, if you're wondering if I've crashed into the walls doing this before, the answer would be yes, because I went much too fast and I would crash into things. But as you can tell, the Neo still flies quite
Attitude
well.
mode.
Now,
Fly
the
with
other thing to
caution.
mention too, as I'm flying here, you probably saw it on my screen. Whoa, why is this going down? Now my Neo landed. I didn't tell it to land. So I don't know if you heard that, but it said aircraft landed automatically because the area was not well lit. So unfortunately, you really have to light your flooring as well as forward for this to work. So I'm gonna take off again. That's hilarious, it just lands if it doesn't have enough light. Going up again.
Take off.
There we are. So go forward. I'll take it up higher. And over to the right.
Attitude mode.
Not that much, but there's the back of my
Fly
head.
with caution.
Oh. Okay, listen to it.
Positioning unavailable. Aircraft landed automatically. Fly in well-lit, textured environments.
So that's interesting. I did not realize it does that. If there's not enough light, it just keeps on landing. You cannot fly it indoors. So I'm taking off again.
off.
I'll get it over to where there's light. There we go. There's light up ahead here.
Attitude mode. Fly with caution.
And we'll bring it back to me. I don't have to have it high above the ground to bring it back. Bring it over the landing pad. There we are. And I will land it. Go on down.
Landing.
So from that video, I learned a valuable lesson as well. I knew that the optical flow on the bottom requires lots of light because it's a tiny camera, so it's designed more for outdoors. If you're gonna fly it indoors, you better have sunlight coming in or lots of light. As you saw where it landed automatically, those were rooms that were not well lit. They only have like, you know, that one light back there, and that's insufficient for a little drone like this with that camera. So when it's looking at the ground, it just sees darkness. Anyways, that's the indoor flight. But if you're going to fly outdoors, you might want to get the Fly More kit, which comes with 3 batteries and this remote, unless you already have this remote. If you have this remote, you can connect it to the drone quite simply. So I'm going to show you flying it right now. With this remote, it flies just like a DJI mini drone. Here we go. So when you use this remote, you put your cell phone in the cradle and you connect the wire that comes out of the remote down here all the way up to your cell phone. You power on this baby and they automatically connect. You see we're connected and I can fly it this way. So I'm gonna do it right now. All right, I've got our Neo. I'll just plop it down on the ground here. So Neo's down there, joystick's down and out. Motor start, left joystick up. It says take off, and there we go.
Home point updated.
So it tells you everything that you would normally get on a DJI Mini or Mavic drone. You have to put the record on. It's not automatic unless you set it to automatic for takeoff. So I'll put it on right now. It's almost using the same screen app as you would see on the DJI Mini. Let me see if I can record that. So if you look at my screen app on my phone, it looks just like the app you would normally get from a Mini. You can see at the top I'm in normal mode. Over on the right shows you how much power you have left, how much satellites you have, and on the bottom you can see that's your resolution of video you're recording in. On the far right is it shows I'm recording video right now, and on the left is my map. So pretty much what we're used to. So let's fly it around. I'll take it up and I'll fly it out. It flies identical to a Mini, no difference. We're gonna go around. Just remember there's no obstacle avoidance, so when you're coming at yourself, just make sure you miss all the trees and branches. So we're coming back to me now. I'm just gonna slow it down right there. Now a lot of people are gonna wonder, hey, does this have sport mode? Well, I have a switch on this remote for sport. Let's see what happens. So I put it in the sport, it says sport mode, so we should be going full blast. Here we go. Yep, that's sport mode. It's not super fast on this thing, but it's moving. Bringing it around, try not to crash into the ground. I'm gonna whiz right by me in sport mode. Here we go. There we are. So let's put it back to normal mode. And we'll bring it over here and put the sun behind us so that we get good image quality. There we go. Now one thing people are gonna love on the Neo is the camera going up and down, because watch this. So hang on a sec, right now. I'll get my head in there. I can look down and I can go way down. I'll try to get my little controller under that. Watch when I go up. I can follow me up. Up, 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 up. I'm standing, I'm standing, I'm standing. I'm gonna go right over top of it. Hang on, there I am. Looking straight down at it. So the camera goes almost 90 degrees up as well as forward, and then of course all the way down. And of course, if you want to take a photo, this is a 12 megapixel photo. There we go, 12 megapixel. I'll take another one. There we are. Also, I noticed on here, if I go back to video, it shows the quick shots. So all those shots we did before, you can see they're also in quick shots here. You have them all down the left. You have droney, rocket, circle, helix, and boomerang. So that's pretty decent. You can use this just like a mini with all the quick shots. And you can see in quick shots, it wants to select me right here, right in my crotch. So I would have to select myself so it knows to do a quick shot around me. I don't know why DJI makes these drones to always shoot for the crotch, but they do. And if you're wondering if there's any waypoints on this, no, I'll go to the map, I'll show you. So there's my map. So as you can see, wherever I tap on the map, it's just showing me that every place I am, it's a restricted area flight zone. Now I am curious about the quick shots because I want to see if the drone comes back to me like in a real quick shot. So I'll select something like droney and I'll select me, click on my crotch. There we go. I'll hit start.
3, 2, 1.
So it'll do it automatically, go backwards and up. In the settings, you can set it so it goes backwards and not up, just flat if you want. Well, that was a pretty lame drone. It hardly went anywhere. Returning. I must have it set to next to nothing. Now it is saying on the top left, low battery, return to home right away. So what I'm gonna do is fly this way. And I'm gonna put it in return to home.
Battery level is low.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going over there.
Aircraft will return to the home point in 10 seconds.
All right, so I'm gonna confirm.
Return to home.
So that was less than 10 seconds. You lied to me. Anyways, it's aircraft is coming back. We'll just see how accurate the GPS is. So since it wasn't very far away or very high, it just comes straight back and it will come and land in the vicinity, which is exactly where I took off from. So this little, my hat cam should catch it over here. There we go.
Critically low battery warning.
There we go.
Critically low battery warning.
So I think that's pretty much it for showing you footage outside and things that you can do outside. So let's go back to Indoor Steve. All right, so you're back to Indoor Steve. A few things I have to mention. One is a lot of people are going to wonder if the Neo comes in a carry bag. No, it does not. You have to get your own. This is one for one of the DJI drones. It might have been a Mavic. I'm not really sure. Anyways, I have a lot of them sitting around because I usually change my cases to hard case. So all these soft cases you can use for stuff. And for the Neo, it works like a charm. If I open this up, let me show you the slots. So inside you can see I have the Neo down here. I'm doing this backwards. I've got the remote and I got all the batteries over here. So everything fits, plenty of space. Now for many of you in the DJI world, you're probably looking at the Neo and going, you know what? It kind of reminds me of the DJI Tello, Rise Tello, the DJI Spark, and the DJI Avata 1 or Avata 2. And you would be correct. It's pretty much all of those little drones all stuck together into one to make this little guy under 250 grams. And I will say for the size of this little guy, it's extremely durable. You should not have to worry about sitting on this, stepping on this, or crashing it into things. It's going to last a long time. As a matter of fact, this is one of the first drones I've ever purchased where I did not buy the DJI Care refresh, even though it's very inexpensive, because I kept looking at it going, there's no way I could possibly break this. There's not even a 3-axis gimbal. You know, there's nothing to damage on this thing. Now, a lot of people are going to compare the Neo with the Hover Air. So I have a Hover Air here and I've done a full review on it, and the Hover Air is foldable. Even the new one that they came out with that has a much higher resolution, it is foldable as well. In many respects, they are similar, except the negative with this one is that it's only a Hover Air. It's only an AI drone. It doesn't have a lot of other capabilities, whereas the Neo, well, it's an AI drone, but then it turns into a DJI Mini, and then it turns into like a DJI Avata with the FPV goggles and everything. So this one, you get an awful lot. This one, not so much. The only negative on the Neo, obviously, is the geofencing, DJI Geo no-fly zones. Very annoying. So a lot of times if you take this out to fly and you do not have your cell phone with you and you try to fly it and you're near any no-fly zone, even slightly near, it will not take off. All right, first flight with the DJI Neo.
Spotlight. Unable to take off. Aircraft in restricted zone.
What? For some reason it thinks I'm in a restricted zone, so the geofence is causing this not to take off. Let me try that again.
Spotlight. Unable to take off. Aircraft in restricted zone.
So other negatives on the Neo, it is not a low light camera. If you buy this and you want to film indoors and there's insufficient light, useless. If you want to fly in the evening when the sun's going down, your image quality is not going to be that great. If you want to fly at night, don't even think of it. This thing doesn't even work at night. All right, this is going to be the low light flight. Now, obviously you cannot fly this at night by itself because the camera cannot see in the dark. So when it looks at you, it will not recognize you're a human. your face or anything, so it won't do anything. You have to use the remote. And when I say remote, I mean your phone or an actual remote. Now it is raining out here, but I'm going to power this on and take it for a short flight. Put it down on the ground.
Take off. Attitude mode. Fly with caution. Attitude mode. Attitude mode. Visual positioning failure, unable to return automatically.
It doesn't like to fly at night.
Safety.
Oh, this thing does not like to fly at night. It's not connecting to the GPS signal. Oh, there we go. I think it's got GPS now. There we go. And I'll just show you what it looks like at night looking down the street at me. That's the night shot. You can see it's not very good. It's not designed for night flying. There you go. That's nighttime. That's a street light. That's about as bright as it gets. Now you can crank up the exposure value. And if I do that, I'll get more grain. So here I'm cranking it up. 1. Yeah. I've cranked it up to +3. The image should look pretty much terrible at +3. Lots of grain in it. So that's exposure value at +3. All right, let's put it back to 0. Exposure value back to 0. And let's bring it down. Yeah, so unfortunately, this is not a low light drone. Not in the least. Let's land it here.
Landing.
But other than that, for bright sunny days, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I like it. I think I might use it for a few things. I don't really care so much for the video quality that comes out of this right now. I'm sure DJI will enhance it as time goes on and make it even better and better by giving us more options, maybe to increase the sharpness, decrease the sharpness, increase the contrast, decrease the contrast. Then the video gets better for me to post, edit it, and do some stuff to it. But right now, no, it's pretty low, just average to low quality video depending on the lighting conditions. But I can overlook all that because it is a phenomenal drone, being a drone with AI by itself, then a drone that's like a DJI Mini, and then a drone that's like the Avata. So with all that said, I will place links to the Neo below. I like it. I honestly like it. I give it a thumbs up. It's a pretty good drone, and I think for the price that they are selling this at, just by itself with just one battery, no remote, is pretty decent because you can do an awful lot if you have a cell phone. Honestly, the flight time's not that long at 15 minutes, but for some people out there that don't fly that often, 15 minutes is sufficient. So links to this baby are below. I'll put the links to it by itself, and the Fly More kit. Look at how tiny the box is for the Fly More kit. There's not much in it, that's for sure. Oh, I should mention too, if you do get the Fly More kit with the 3 batteries, which is a bonus, really good having the 3 batteries, then get yourself a really good charger that shoots out a lot of watts, because if you use a simple USB charger on the side, it doesn't come with a brick to charge it. If you use a simple one, these batteries will take a while to charge. However, if you use a very powerful output wattage charger, you could charge them up super fast. And as many already know, this charges the batteries all 3 at once. It's the first charger from DJI that doesn't go one battery first, then the next one, then the next one. It does all 3 at once, so you can get up and fly really fast, especially if you have a 65-watt charger. All right, guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos on the Neo, I will have one more coming out when I fly it FPV style. I even bought, check this out, I even bought new goggles 3 and a new remote because I don't want to keep using my ones from the Avata to keep on flying, because I can keep changing the transmission system, and I like to have the settings one way. So anyways, you'll see that in an upcoming review. But for now, I say thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Bye!